Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm probably going to talk about my two favorite fitness watches that I have ever used, thus making this probably the hardest kind of video to make in terms of talking about which one is my favorite. So it's been 1 year that I've spent now with the Fenix 7 Titanium Solar and Instinct 2 Solar, and these have been, I think, the two best fitness watches I've ever owned. And it's going to make this even kind of harder to talk about which one would I choose. So I'm not going to kind of really spend too much time on talking about the watches themselves, more so I'm going to talk about kind of the differences between the two that make me kind of like one more than the other. So here it goes, and I've gone back and forth between this, but there are some things I really like about the Instinct. There's some things I like about the Garmin, or the Fenix 7, and it kind of goes back and forth. When I start wearing one, I kind of start missing that feature in the other. When I wear the other, I start missing the other. So it's almost like I kind of go back and forth, and usually I do kind of alternate. I'll kind of wear these a few weeks, switch them off and on. Now, in terms of performance, I think at the end of the day they perform the same. So as far as fitness tracking, they have the same hardware. I mean, these are identical watches really for the most part, minus kind of the external features like the displays and the build materials and what they look like. So I think the biggest advantage of the Fenix 7 is going to be the larger, colorful touchscreen. So if you're someone that really likes to kind of fiddle with your watch, you like to read data off of your watch, you like to check your stats, see your sleep, you kind of like to do everything on the watch, then it's a no-brainer. This is the better one to get. Having the touchscreen, this has by far been like the most intuitive Garmin watch I've ever used because of the touchscreen. So this is kind of the first time you kind of have a fitness watch and smartwatch kind of together. So having the larger screen, having these cool shortcuts, it just kind of makes the watch, very smart-esque. This is probably, if you're someone that's coming off of like a Samsung Galaxy or Apple Watch, then you're gonna feel more at home with the Fenix 7 than the Instinct. Having kind of the ability to kind of read emails, read text messages, read your data actually, having that kind of information in your watch, I think is very helpful if you're someone that kind of really likes to kind of check all this stuff, off your watch. So that's kind of, I think, the biggest benefit of the Fenix 7 is going to be the screen, the larger display, and just having the intuitive touch screen where you can kind of read your data, read your emails, check your calendar, check the weather, basically kind of use your watch, not your phone. That's kind of the big plus for this one. Where this one I think shines is going to be on just comfort. It's, even though they're physically about the same size, like thickness, I think this one's a little bigger in terms of kind of diameter, but this is just so much lighter. This one is way more comfortable to wear. It's a lot lighter. It doesn't kind of jiggle and move around on your wrist as much. It just makes it kind of a more comfortable watch to wear. It makes it more comfortable to wear, to work out with, to sleep with. It's just an easier watch to wear. Now this one, obviously you have a monotone display, so as far as kind of seeing the time, sometimes I feel like it's actually easier to read this one, but obviously the lack of touchscreen, lack of color can make this one a little harder to read. So when you try to read, some of your data, it's not as easy to kind of interpret. Like sleep is a good example. It's much harder to look at sleep on this one versus this one, right? You can't really tell the colors like you can here. Here you can kind of see your stages much better. So here's another good example. You can just interpret data much better on this one. So For this one, I mean, if you're in a pinch, you can, but this is for someone that prefers to kind of do this stuff on their phone. You know, this is kind of more fitness focused, not so much smartwatch focused. I mean, like I said, you'll get your email notifications. You can read them, but it's just not as enjoyable as it is on the other one. Now, as far as build quality, you know, obviously this one's got better materials. It's titanium metal, but this one is no slouch either. It is plastic, but it's extremely durable. I mean, for my purposes, I'm not going to break either of these, so I would call it a draw there. So yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. It's a tough choice. You know, ultimately, I think I gotta try the 65, because that one you kind of get the lightness of the Instinct with the screen of the Fenix. So that one might be a better fit. I've never tried that one, but kind of taking these two into apart, you know, if I had to choose, if I had to sell one of these or get rid of it and only hang on to one, it's a tough choice, but kind of looking at the totality of everything in terms of how I use it, the cost, battery life, comfort, you know, I think I would choose the Instinct 2. You know, I think that's probably going to be the one I would recommend and pick and choose. It's approximately, you know, half the cost. It's depending on what time, you know, what kind of deal you get, but half the cost, twice the battery, twice the comfort, the same in performance. I mean, really, but you know, ultimately, if I had to pick, it's going to be this one. You know, the only advantage I give to this one is the nicer, bigger screen, but the Instinct is just overall wins and checks more boxes. So after a year of use, this is kind of the watch I think is my favorite. And again, no slouch, but this is a very tough one. I'm actually now considering, I know they came out with a 2X, and I really, really want the flashlight because I think it's such a cool feature, but the 2X is gigando. I think it's actually big. It's bigger than this. So this is 47 millimeter. The other one's 50, so gosh, I don't know if I want to take down that massive saucer, but I hope they one day will add the light to kind of their normal size watches. But yeah, that's kind of just a quick update 1 year later. I mean, I could not be happier with these watches. I mean, these two watches have kind of ruined my whole, like, you know, fitness review channel / whatever, because I just like these too much. Like, nothing can beat these. Every time I get a new watch, it just doesn't compare to these two, and I always go back way sooner than I had hoped. You know, I tried using the Amazfit. I mean, I think it lasted like a week or two before I kept coming back to this one. I tried the Pace, was it Pace 2, whatever that's called. Came back to this one. I mean, these new generation Garmin watches are just amazing and awesome. I mean, I've used Garmin for years, but up until now, they just haven't been this good, where I just can't, you know, not have them. So, but yeah, just a quick 1 year update. Any questions, let me know. But you know, if you're kind of torn between the two, I would probably save yourself some money and go with this one, unless you're really kind of a watch user. If you're coming from the Apple Watch, the Samsung Watch, then this might be a better transition for you. But that's it from me. Thanks for tuning in as always, and I'm still debating if I want to pick up the Instinct 2. If I do, I'll be back and kind of do a couple of videos about that one as well. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and talk to you later.